It seems like if we move in one direction by the same interval over and over again, we'll end up where we started, just an octave higher or an octave lower. That's how it worked with the minor seconds, with the major seconds, with the minor thirds, major thirds, even the tritone. But the perfect fifth works a very different way. And in order to demonstrate this, I'm going to have to start way, way down at the bottom of the keyboard. I'm going to go back to this C, the very lowest C I have on the piano keyboard. And I'm going to start moving by a fifth up from that C. I'm going to write that C on my staff here. And since I don't want to write a million ledger lines, I'm going to use this symbol 8VB, which means play what I've written down an octave. So this actually would be, if I were to write this out completely with all the ledger lines, it would be way, way down here. So I'm going to start with that C. I'm going to go up a perfect fifth, which leaves me on G. Okay, that's easy enough. I'm still going to have that 8VB, or 8 octaves below. I'm sorry, 1 octave below. Okay, so C to G. Then up a fifth from G is D. And this time I'm going to go put that D right there at the actual pitch that I want, or what we sometimes call loco. Okay, then up a fifth from there, I'm going to go to the A. Up a perfect fifth from there, I'm going to go to E. Up a fifth from there, I'm going to go to B. Up a fifth from there, I'm going to go to F sharp. Up a fifth from there, I'm going to go to C sharp. Up a fifth, I'm going to go to G sharp. Notice this, that already the perfect fifth is sending us on a totally different trajectory. I started on the very, very bottom C, and now it's sending me all the way up into the stratosphere. Okay, let's keep going. A perfect fifth above the G sharp is a D sharp. I'm going to write that D sharp, though, as an E flat. That's going to be the E flat, 3 ledger lines above the staff. Now a perfect fifth up from the E flat is going to be B flat. And I'm going to use another abbreviation, 8VA, that tells me to play that note that I've written 1 octave above, because I don't want to write 100 ledger lines. And then I'm going to go up to the F, which is going to be 3 ledger lines above. And then finally, I'm going to end up on C, and I'm going to use another abbreviation, 15MA, which means play the thing that I'm writing 2 octaves above. Do that right here. So this is not the C that is 2 octaves above middle C. This is actually C that is 4 octaves above middle C, which is, in fact, the highest note, the highest C on the piano keyboard, way, way over here on the end. Okay, this is ridiculous. If I follow the fifths all the way through, they send me from C all the way up to the highest C on my keyboard. And in the process, they have moved through every one of the single 12 chromatic notes on the keyboard. I've gotten at least 1 C, 1 C sharp, 1 D, 1 E flat, 1 E, 1 F, 1 F sharp, 1 G, 1 A flat, 1 A, 1 B flat, 1 B, and 1 C. But it's taken me the entire length of the keyboard to get there. So a perfect fifth, if we keep moving in a perfect fifth, we end up going through all of the 12 chromatic notes and cycling back to the C at the very end, but it takes us a long distance to get there. In fact, the entire length of the keyboard to get there. Very often what we do, because it's so unwieldy to write this on a staff or even to look at it on a keyboard, we arrange this pattern of fifths in a circle like this, almost like it's on a clock, like the face of a clock, which is how it gets the name, the circle of fifths. And it's a little bit more manageable, a little bit more easy to see here. So if I start on my C up at the top of the clock, up at 12 o'clock, I move up a fifth, move up a perfect fifth. As I move clockwise from C to G, up a perfect fifth, from G to D, up a perfect fifth, from D to A, up a perfect fifth, from A to E, up a perfect fifth from E to B, and I'm just indicating here that B can also be called C flat. That's going to be important to think about. We're keeping that idea of n harmonic equivalence, that B and C flat mean exactly the same thing. Then from B to F sharp, and again another way of thinking about F sharp is as G flat. And then from F sharp to C sharp, or another way of thinking about C sharp is as D flat. Up another fifth from D flat to A flat. Up another fifth from A flat to E flat. Up another fifth from E flat to B flat. And up another fifth from B flat to F. And then finally up a final fifth from F to C. That is the circle of fifths. There's actually another way that we can move through the circle of fifths, and that is to go counterclockwise. Start at the top at C and move to the left. And if we move to the left, we are moving down a fifth. But moving down a fifth, moving down a perfect fifth, is exactly the same as moving up a perfect fourth, because the perfect fifth and the perfect fourth are inversions of one another. So when we, if we start at C and we move up a perfect fourth, we come to the same letter name and the same accidental as we do if we move if we move down a perfect fifth. So C to F, F to B flat down up a perfect fourth to E flat up a perfect fourth to A flat up a perfect fourth to D flat up a perfect fourth to G flat up a perfect fourth to C flat or B, up a perfect fourth to E, up a perfect fourth to A, up to D, up to G, and up to C. Now there are a lot of interesting patterns that will emerge from the circle of fifths, and we'll talk about some of them as we encounter them. But one of the interesting things to note is that every letter or every note that is on opposite sides of the circle is 6 half steps or a tritone away. So C, if we follow C to the opposite side of the circle, we come to F sharp. Just to pick another note at random, if we follow D to the other side of the circle, we come to A flat. Or if we follow B flat to the other side of the circle, to the opposite side of the circle, we come to E flat. And those are all the distance of an augmented fourth or a diminished fifth, or a tritone, 6 half steps. So this probably seems, again, very abstract and mathematical and not at all connected with real music. But this pattern is going to be something that we run into and encounter all over the place in music theory. So it's helpful just to sort of understand it a little bit in the abstract before we run into it. And you'll run into it in this class, and you'll run into it in many other places in music theory.